to those to students in colleges that are not doing it, we see a far different picture. So the value of student success classes is certainly not open to question at this point. And Chad, how about what we're seeing at Zane State and what you're doing to address that?
Well, at Zane State, we have had a first-year experience course called IDS 101, and IDS stands for Interdisciplinary Studies, if you're wondering, called our College Success Strategies. We've had it for about 10 years. And as was the case back then when we instituted it, we initially saw a large increase in term-to-term and fall-to-fall retention. It is required of all of our first-year students. There are a few exceptions, and I'll tell you about those here in just a few minutes. But what it includes things such as financial literacy, learning style assessments, all the technology-related information. We want them to understand the systems at Zane State College, how they work. Really, it is supposed to be, how do you survive in this time? One of the things that we've done in order to create this as a very personal Zane State thing is that we utilize a custom textbook. And that textbook is published, and on the cover are pictures of our campus. Our IDS 101 title is on the cover, as well as our branding of our first-year experience. We try to place that philosophy picture in as many locations as we can the students will see. The course is managed in a very structured way. It is revised annually, and it's led by our Associate Dean for Developmental Education and the First-Year Experience. Again, I can't emphasize enough that the first-year experience for most of our students has to be what they are experiencing while they're taking those developmental education courses. The last thing that we want to do is take students who have had struggles, who already aren't sure if they are right for college, who already may not feel welcome, and just affirm that by saying, well, once you get your developmental education done, then you can become a college student. We want to welcome them in immediately. The course is managed by a team of both full-time and adjunct faculty. We try to keep as many full-time faculty teaching the course as possible, but we do allow adjunct faculty to teach it. There's some freedom within how the course is taught, but the content areas are very specific. The oversight is by as I said, the Associate Dean for Developmental Education. One of the important things, though, is the formats of how we offer this. We used to offer a one-size-fits-all class. Now we offer it in a variety of options. One of those options is during an intersession. So a student who's beginning with us in fall could take a one-week intersession course in the week prior to the fall quarter. They would go for the whole morning, 5 days a week, and then they would have the course done. Another option is to take it as a hybrid course or even a distance course. And yet a different option is to take the course condensed. So rather than meeting for 2 hours once a week, it would actually meet 4 hours during the first 5 weeks of the term. With all those different options, we've looked at student performance, and there seems to be little difference on student performance in the different options, whether that's within the class, during the academic term, or even on into the academic experience. But what it does do, it allows us to provide a whole variety of options for students depending on their personality styles, what their schedule will allow, and just overall to allow the voices to be heard. Because while we hear that a number of students really appreciate the course, and oftentimes that is our older student, our student who is tentative about going to college, there's a large number of students who say, well, I wish I could have learned this earlier because, by the time I learned it in class, I had already had to experience it, so this didn't do me any good. So we try to provide as many options as possible. One of the other things that we do is that we want to not require it of students who absolutely don't need it. So we do allow students to opt out, but it's done on a very specific basis. So students who come to us with transfer credit must have at least 24 hours completed, must have a grade of at least 2.75 at that institution, or they must have also taken a course that meets the same objectives that our IDS